welcome to another installment of Velvet Owl Watches Movies Naked. Because really, that is the best way to really savor the finer points of cinema. This week's film is audience suggestion. Really more a friend than an audience. I don't know if he actually listens to this show. But Sean Ozzy Dietz, former co-worker, he suggested that I watch Frogs. And sure, I haven't watched it. And strangely enough, he suggested this weeks ago, and just this past weekend it was on Svengoolie. And I don't watch Svengoolie. I kind of am interested to see that show, but I don't have access to that show. I probably could, but I'm just too lazy to find it. So, not on Tubi TV this week, where I normally watch most of my movies, because for some reason they don't have Frogs up, but on Pluto TV, which also has a nice selection of bad movies for me to watch. So, anyways, Frogs, it's about killer frogs killing people, I think. That's enough of an introduction as this really needs. Let's start with the movie. We start off with a guy in a canoe, and I think it might be Sam Elliott. I'm not 100% sure. I know that Sam Elliott is in this movie, and he has no mustache, and I don't know what the fuck Sam Elliott looks like without a mustache. And plus, this is very old, so he would be a lot younger. And really, the only thing I know Sam Elliott from is The Big Lebowski, so in my mind, he just always looks like that. So I don't know if this is Sam Elliott or not, but I'm going with it until someone tells me different. He's in his canoe, he's paddling down the bayou, and he's taking pictures of all the wildlife, and everything's all chill until he takes a picture of a frog. And there's menacing music. Dun, dun, dun. Frog doesn't attack him or anything. I think the filmmakers just want us to know, don't trust the frogs. Which is good advice. Don't trust frogs, because they're always trying to go across traffic, and you gotta try to avoid them. You know what? Fuck that. I want a reverse Frogger game where you're playing one of the cars, trying to avoid running over a frog. I don't know who I have to get this idea to, but I'm going to try to get that idea out. And so Sam Elliott takes pictures of the wildlife, and then he starts taking pictures of all the litter and trash that's been thrown into the bayou, and pollution that's coming from some sort of waste coming from, I guess, probably factories that are nearby. This is going to be one of those films with a message. Now, Sam Elliott is out in the ocean, or maybe just a big lake. He's no longer in the kind of little river canal that he was before. He's just the great wide open ocean water. And there comes a speedboat speeding along, driven by a guy. Wait, do you drive a speedboat? Sail a speedboat? Something. But the guy's drunk behind the wheel, and he's not paying attention, and he knocks over Sam Elliott because he's trying to turn at the last minute so that he doesn't completely run over Sam Elliott. But him and his girlfriend are nice enough to go back and get Sam Elliott and tow his canoe back to shore. And while they're doing this, there's an old guy in a wheelchair, and you just know he's the bad guy because he's old and in a wheelchair. And he's rich. He looks rich, so I'm not trying to cast aspirations on all old guys in wheelchairs. Just rich old guys in wheelchairs tend to be evil. And he's watching them through binoculars, and he's wondering, who are these people? Why are they here? And as they pull up to shore and dock their speedboat, there's all these frogs watching menacingly. So the douchebag and his girlfriend, more so his girlfriend, offer Sam Elliott to, hey, come stay at our place for lunch, at least until your clothes dry, because we live in a fucking mansion in the middle of the swamp. And Sam Elliott's kind of sure, whatever. So they start walking, and they're followed by a fuck ton of frogs. And when I say a fuck ton, a whole fucking lot of frogs. Like, seriously, a lot of fucking frogs are there. It's like, probably 70% of the budget of the film has gone to frogs, and they're like, we're going to use every fucking last one of them. And I think it's well worth it to spend your budget on frogs. I mean, they might as well just call this Frog Town, but that's like a whole other film with the late, great Roddy Piper, who plays Hell, and Hell comes to Frog Town. So they make it to the mansion, and the girlfriend's introducing the family. I guess it's her family, and the old man in the wheelchair is her grandpa. So, doubly evil guy. Rich grandpa's in a wheelchair on a mansion in the middle of nowhere. I guess it's a private island. They're evil. And, I hate to make that stereotype, but usually when you're getting that specific on someone, they're evil. And Grandpa's seen Sam Elliott swimming around, well, not swimming around, but in his canoe, taking pictures of everything. And, that's not kosher because it's a private island. It's against the law to take pictures. And Sam Elliott's like, I'm just trying to take pictures of the pollution. And this doesn't faze the grandpa, who you'd think he'd be like much more suspicious or something about, hey, he's taking pictures of pollution. He's going to be on to my industry, polluting the waters. But no. And one of the other guys is like, hey, have you taken any pictures of frogs? There's giant fucking frogs everywhere. And Sam Elliott's like, no. Because I guess somehow he... Is it that he just hasn't seen the frogs? Because there is seriously a lot of fucking frogs everywhere. Some movies do not live up to their title. Frogs most certainly lives up to its titles. I'm like 10 minutes into this film, and I'm sure I've seen like 500 frogs already. Now, the girlfriend introduces Sam Elliott to more people that are on the grounds inside of the mansion, and there's a black girl, so at least they're not racist. This isn't a racist family, just evil. And really, for all we know, it's only Grandpa who's evil, because it's usually only Grandpa who's evil. And one lady is like just trying to catch butterflies all the time. And then the douchebag, he starts showing off all his like trophies and stuff from when he was in school. My mind froze. Probably the only podcast that has so many mind freezes that don't get edited out. So, the douchebag's just showing off all his jock trophies because he's reliving the peak of his life that was high school. And then there's some seagulls flying. Then more shots of frogs. And the butler has to go gather up everyone to come for lunch. And the black girl, she's too busy taking pictures with her boyfriend. And the butler's black, of course, because, they're not completely racist, but I don't know, maybe just there's just only certain, I guess, areas where there white butlers exist. Gotham City. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to think about it too much, but right now, Alfred is the only white butler I can think of in existence. Everyone else is a black butler. I'm sure there's more. Like I said, I don't feel like thinking about it. So they head back to go for lunch and more shots of frogs. And then everyone's at lunch and they're complaining because the little kids aren't back yet. And there's just frogs everywhere. Like, seriously. And the little kids come back and they've got frogs. And the adults are mad. Like, don't bring more frogs. There's too many fucking frogs as there is. And so they ask Sam Elliott, hey, you're like eco guy. What can we do to get rid of the frogs? He's like, I don't know. Because whatever you do will probably kill everyone else. Just wait till next year, because Maybe it's just been a busy mating season. But like, no, we can't wait for next year. Have you seen that there's so many fucking frogs? So Sam Elliott's like, okay, I'll take a look around and see if I can come up with anything. And then, more shots of frogs. Do you hear that? That is currently the bizarre loop that my TV is currently going on. Just this commercial, like the last 3 seconds of it are like just looping. And I don't know what the fuck's going on because I've like exited the app and gone back like several times, and it keeps going through the whole commercial break. And then when it gets to this commercial, it does it. Like I've done this several times. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And since it's a commercial, I can't fast forward through it. It just keeps repeating. I log out, then log back into the app, and it just starts doing it again. So I don't know how I'm going to finish watching this. So I might try again at some later point to come back, see if I can do it. If not, I don't know. I'm just going to watch something else for like anyone's listening to this point in the podcast anyhow. So we might just finish off with something else, some TV show or something short to keep this from being like a super long episode. Because I got through like 20 minutes of this film. I don't want to start all the way beginning. But this does remind me of this time, like, my parents rented Motel Hell from Video Factory. The much better version, the much better alternative to Blockbuster Video. You know, for the longest time, I thought Video Factory had to have been like a national chain because we had like 3 of them here in Buffalo and only like one Blockbuster. So I assumed, well, there's lots more Video Factories. Actually, I don't know if we even had a Blockbuster back then. I think Blockbuster only like really moved in once Video Factory went completely out of business. It's a shame. But anyhow, we rented Motel Hell, and for some reason there was like, it got to one part where you're watching it, and remember, this is VHS. This is how far back we go. And it would get to this one part in the scene that it would stop and rewind. Like, it just like stopped the film and started rewinding all the way to the beginning. And it kept doing this over and over to the point where finally we just tried fast forwarding at that part, and it got us far enough that for some reason it got past that glitch and we were able to watch the rest of the film. But again, since this is a commercial and they don't allow you to fast forward to the commercials, it's stuck in this fucking loop. So I don't know. Let's hear some more of this annoying little loop. Okay, I seem to have got it working again. So Sam Elliott's walking around the island, just trying to give a survey of the place, and he just keeps coming across dead animals with creepy synth music going doo-doo, doo-doo, you know, to heighten the sense of suspense and terror. And he keeps coming across, and as he's walking, lots of frogs are following him, because god damn, does this movie ever live up to its title. I'm pretty sure at least a quarter of the scenes, a quarter of the camera shots have to have been just close-ups of frogs. Like, I kind of even wonder, like, are they just reusing footage of the frogs? Because, you know what? Save some money, dude. Like, just go for it. Just reuse the same 4 shots of frogs. I mean, yeah, it probably would be obvious, but whatever. It's not like you've got some sort of masterpiece you're working on here. But as Sam Elliott walks, he keeps finding more dead animals, and then, dun, dun, he finds a dead human body. And he must suspect something is up with the rich people. Because when he goes back, he doesn't mention that he found a fucking dead body. And I think it's of someone they're looking for because they keep asking, like, where did. If I know the guy's name, Raymond. We'll just say Raymond. Like, where's Raymond? I hope he hasn't gotten lost. Like, maybe his Jeep got turned over. And Sam Elliott's like, well, I did find the Jeep, but I didn't find him. So, yeah, I'm guessing dead dude was Raymond. So why didn't you bring this up, Sam Elliott? You suspect it was someone from the mansion. Meanwhile, like, all the rich people in the mansion are, like, complaining about being rich. I fucking hate that. Like, oh, they make us pay taxes, and now we gotta put shit on our factories that isn't gonna pollute the water. Don't they realize how much money that's gonna cost us? Yeah, fuck you. You guys deserve to get eaten by frogs. And, oh boy, are there ever so many fucking frogs. Because now the frogs are all surrounded the mansion. Just frogs, frogs, frogs everywhere. Too many damn frogs. Makes me think of that Family Guy with Don Knutts and too many ostriches. We've got too many frogs. Sam Elliott asks to speak to Wheelchair Guy and tells him about the dead body. So, okay. Apparently he was just hiding it from everyone else because he doesn't want to freak everyone out that, you know, Raymond, Chad, I forgot. Because now I want to say Chad, and I don't think that's right either. So Raymond Chad is the name of the dead guy as far as I'm concerned. And so, but tomorrow is the big birthday celebration because apparently like 5 of the rich people have birthdays in July. And it's also the 4th of July, so let's just make it all into one big party. So, you know, we can't have everyone freaking out. But then there's noise. Frogs are throwing themselves at the window. They must really want in. And then there's screams. And they go to the kitchen or some room, and there's a snake. So not only do they have to deal with frogs, there's a fucking snake hanging from the chandelier. Good thing that rich old white guy in a wheelchair also has a gun. Yeah. Living up to those stereotypes. And he shoots the snake. And he's like, we'll just pesticide the fuck out of this island. And Sam Elliott's like, you can't do that because you'll kill all these other animals. And rich old wheelchair guy's kind of like, yeah, so what? We're humans. Fuck the animals. There's a fight between, well, not a fight, just an argument between one of the rich douchebags and his wife. And they seem unhappy in their marriage, but the old man's soon going to die and the money will come to them. So, you know, I guess they're going to try to, you know, pretend to be this happy little couple until they can get their hands on the money. Fucking rich people. Close up of more frogs as the kids are in the jungle setting off firecrackers, and the frogs are kind of scared. Kind of not, because they're fucking frogs. And then some scenes of the rich people setting up their 4th of July party, and close-ups of frogs, and more decorating, and close-up of Gila monsters. I guess the director decided, you know, we gotta shake things up a bit, you know. Can't be just close-ups of frogs every other shot. So, close-up of a Gila monster. And then 2 of the rich guys have a pillow fight on top of a log to assert alpha dominance. Oh, how I wish I was kidding about that one. Yeah, even one, I couldn't come up with something that stupid. But yeah, I kind of actually wish it went longer. In fact, I want like a whole thing around like pillow fights on top of logs to assert alpha domination. It's insane. And then we get more close-ups of frogs, because of course we do. like just, oh fuck, are you gonna start doing this shit to me again? I'm on a commercial loop again. But let me finish up with where I was going with this. Maybe like on Pluto TV, I can only get like half an hour at a time. So I'll have to return. But before then, I shall go on with what I was. Okay, so let's see. The pillow fight, close ups of frogs. For some reason, one of the rich douche guys goes off into a jungle with a shotgun and he shoots some birds, some close up of frogs. And then he's just kind of wandering around, I guess, looking for more things to shoot. I don't know why he shot the birds in the first place. Was it because they just are like too fucking loud? Like, okay, yeah, maybe I kind of get it. And then close up of frogs, and then for some reason the rich guy starts running and he trips and shoots himself in the knee, which fan fucking tastic. I cheered. I am glad that he fucking shot himself like an idiot. He couldn't happen to a nicer guy, in my opinion. And then close up frogs. Then suddenly the jungle seems to be attacking them as there's just all these giant spiders coming down and like dropping moss on him. I'm not really sure what that's all. I think it's moss. I don't know what it is. They're dropping shit on him. It's not spider webs. Just, I don't know, whatever cheap thing that they guess that they could afford from the prop department. And it covers him up. And he screams and he's dead as we get a close up of the spider's face. And he's a fucking ugly motherfucker. And they kill him. The frogs are innocent. I thought the frogs were going to kill people. I mean, I'm not entirely sure that frogs won't kill people in the future or that they haven't already killed people, but this particular person was not killed by frogs. And then TV started going into the same type of commercial loop. So, we shall come back to this and hopefully get to see the last third of frogs. If not, I'm guessing that we're going to get shots of frogs, shots of Sam Elliott doing something, shots of frogs, the old guy in a wheelchair complaining about something, shots of frogs. Hopefully, third time's a charm here. So we've got more shots of frogs and some shots of chameleons and Gila monsters. Are they Gila monsters? Yeah, I think they're called Gila monsters. And yeah, I think like half of this footage probably was either recycled or will eventually be recycled for a nature documentary. Because there's just so much shots of... It feels like they're just padding time. They had like 40 minutes of a movie and they're like, ugh, we can't release a 40-minute movie to theaters. How do we stretch this out? I know! More shots of frogs. We can't have just shots of frogs. Shots of chameleons as well. And Gila monsters. And all sorts of nasty little lizards and stuff. So, one of the douchebag sons, I don't remember which one. Actually, it's a misnomer for me to say I don't remember which one when I don't know who any of them are. In the first place, I'm not going to differentiate. They're all douchebags. And he's out in the greenhouse tending to the plants and kills some bug for eating a plant. Like, oh, fuck you, bug. But ha ha ha, you're the one that's going to get fucked by nature. Because a chameleon comes by and starts knocking off bottles that are labeled caution and poison. And it creates a poisonous, toxic cloud. And he's dead. And lizards all crawl over him. And, okay, so far, the frogs have not killed anyone. Why is this movie called Frogs? The frogs are innocent so far. They're just, they just fucked a lot and populated the area, but they haven't killed anyone yet. So leave the frogs alone. So the douchebag must have been the black girl's boyfriend or husband or whatever, because she comes running to the rest of the family like, he's dead. And Sam Elliott confirms, yes, he's dead. asphyxiated from all the poison broken bottles. And so they go off to check on something, I guess, while the frogs are just jumping all over the place. And they all jump into the beautiful 4th of July cake that's like decorated like a American flag, and such a beautiful cake. And it makes me sad to see the cake is ruined by these fucking frogs. You've gone too far now, frogs. Meanwhile, the old lady that loves butterflies has gone off into the jungle looking for butterflies, I'm assuming, because she's got a butterfly net. I don't know, the butterflies really go into the jungle. She must have followed one. And meanwhile, there's frogs everywhere. God damn it with the fucking close-ups of these frogs. Like, we get it. There's frogs everywhere. And there's also snakes everywhere. And she gets scared from the snakes. And she goes running and lands into like a little mud puddle or something. And she gets covered by leeches. And then a snake comes and bites her. And she's dead. While the frogs look on. Close up of a frog. I don't know. Even though the frogs have not killed anyone, maybe they're telling all the other animals to kill these people. Because, you know, frogs are like the boss or something. Or they just are incapable of killing. So they order other people. And frogs are truly on top of the food chain. Or they've got magic powers. Because the frog stares at her body and she instantly turns blue. And I'm not like an expert, but I'm pretty sure the body doesn't turn blue that quickly after dying. So he used his magic frog powers. I don't know. I don't know if I'm scared or just annoyed by these frogs at this point. And then one of the other old guys is looking for a crazy butterfly lady when he's attacked by an alligator. Or maybe it's a crocodile. I don't want to come off as speciesist. I think, like racist, but with species. Because I can't tell the difference between an alligator and a crocodile. But it attacks the old man. Ugh. Sorry for that yawn. It attacks the old man, but he's not going down without a fight. And he fights that alligator, crocodile. Crocagator. Crocagator is a fucking awesome term. I'm trademarking it. He's fighting the crocagator. God damn, Sci-Fi Channel, make that film. Crocagator. That is awesome. And more awesome than this fucking film. And he fights the crocagator, but it's too much. And he dies. While the frogs are looking on. Because I'm convinced now, the frogs are controlling everything. They're controlling all the other creatures. And I'm amazed that a frog has like mind control powers over a crocagator. Let's hope these frogs don't make it to the mainland. I fear for our country. We might be attacked by frogs. Now, Sam Elliott's trying to tell everyone that they've got to leave the island because there's these deaths. And they only know of two so far. The guy in the greenhouse and the guy in the jungle. The first guy in the jungle, not the second one that got killed by the spiders. And there's the other two deaths that they don't know yet. So that's 5 deaths. And he only knows of 2. And that's enough to ring the alarm bells like, hey, let's get off this fucking island because it's trying to kill us. And if they knew about all 5, that probably would help his case better. But the old guy, he's like, no, we're not going to let this ruin the day. You know, it's my birthday and it's the 4th of July. So, yeah, but old man, at some point you kind of just have to give it up. And the only people who agree with Sam Elliott's plan are the black girl and the 2 black servants. So I'm impressed that this film is so socially conscious that it made the black people the only people with common sense. I'm also impressed that the film managed to last the last 3 minutes without showing a shot of frogs. And now here's some more frogs. So one of the douchebag family members. He's agreed to help the black people go get off the island. Sam Elliott can't go because, he's got to help protect the white people, I guess. So, damn you, Sam Elliott. So they go to take the black people, and he takes the powerboat to somewhere, some dock, which I guess they're supposed to then meet someone to take them from there, but no one's there. And douchebag family guy has, left already. And I'm not really sure, because I don't know, how you even get to the island, so, they went to the mainland to where they're taking off the island. I don't know. But whoever was supposed to be there wasn't there. And they've got food still on a grill, cooking. Should be burning, actually, really, unless, it's barely cooked, so this must be, 30 seconds ago that whoever was there, left and probably was killed. And the black people are looking around oh no, what do we do? And suddenly, birds attack. Oh my god, the frogs even control the birds? God damn these fucking frogs. They are vicious. Well, it looks like the douchebag didn't leave. He went into the store for something, and... Oh, I just want to point out, because I was waiting, because I thought we were going to see the death scene, because we didn't actually see the black people get killed. But I just wanted to point out that, again, I commend this film for not killing off the black people first. And shown to be the only ones with sense. They die anyhow, but, as far as horror movies go, and this one's from the 70s, that's pretty progressive, I think. And so, but the douchebag, he didn't leave them. He went into the store for something, and he came out, and the rope to his boat's been severed, so now he's stuck on this part of the island with no way to get back home, and the boat's just off floating in the sea. And his wife, she's going crazy, where is he? Why isn't he back yet? And she goes, and she gets attacked, I think, by the alligators or something. Something drags her into the water. She's dead. I assume. I don't care. As far as I'm concerned, she's dead. So, another one down. Again, not by the frogs. And believe me, I am fully rooting for the frogs. And not just because I'm afraid they're going to come near here and, well, yeah, partly that, because I want to be on their side. Obviously the frogs are going to win out in the end. And if they make it their way to this part of the country, I want them to know I'm an ally. I love you, frogs. Do not kill me. Or more importantly, do not tell other animals to kill me. That seems to be your MO. And, the kids... They see that, the boat's coming back, but Daddy's not in there. And they're like, why? Why isn't Daddy there? And Sam Elliott's like, that settles it. We got to leave. And the other blonde girl, who's part of the family, I'm assuming, I'm not sure. She must be the sister of the dead people. And she wants to go too. But the evil wheelchair guy's like, no, we are staying. God damn, he really wants his birthday celebration. Even though the cake's fucking ruined by the frogs, the cake's ruined. At this point, you just give up on the celebration. I would. So everyone that's left decides, yeah, we're just leaving you, fucking wheelchair guy. You want to sit here and be killed by the frogs? Go ahead, we're leaving. And he's all grumpy, like, rrr. And Sam Elliott's like, you mind if I take the shotgun? He's like, yeah, just don't bring it back. So I think secretly wheelchair guy just wants to die. He doesn't even want the shotgun to protect himself. He's just like, that's exactly how he sounds too. And so they run to the dock, but there's the lady's body and she's covered by crabs and turtles. This is just madness. Everyone has conspired to kill these people. Luckily, Sam Elliott has this canoe, and they get into the canoe and they start rowing to the other part of the island. I don't know. I still don't know what it is, the mainland, but they get stuck. So Sam Elliott takes off his shirt and for some reason. I don't know why he needs to take off his shirt to try to free the canoe. But then there's some snakes. But they're no match for Sam Elliott's beautiful, beautiful torso. And he gets back into the canoe because he's freed it. And there's a crocodile or a crocagator. But no match for Sam Elliott without a shirt. And he shoots him. You know, I just realized I meant to make a run through the jungle joke earlier when the one lady was running through the jungle, and I missed it. So I'm gonna sing it. Better run through the jungle. So anyways, shirtless Sam Elliott shoots the crocagator, and they make it to the other part of the mainland, and they're looking to see if anyone's around. Well, I guess they must be on the mainland, because Sam Elliott puts his shirt back on and manages to flag down the car. And the lady driving is willing to let them hitch a ride, even though Sam Elliott is holding a fucking shotgun. Or maybe because of that, that's why, oh, you got a shotgun? Sure! Please don't shoot me. Or, you know, it's the 70s. And it's some sort of backwards bayou, and they're like, yeah, everyone's got a shotgun. So jump in. And she's like, this is so deserted, but, you know, it's just crazy. And her son, who's in the front passenger seat, turns around to look at them and says, have you seen this frog? It's huge. And then we had a close-up of the frog he's holding. Freeze frame. The movie ends. Oh, wait, no, it doesn't end. What the fuck? How do you do a freeze frame and it's not the end of the movie? Like, it was so, like, especially, like, in the 70s horror, like, at that, like, moment when you realize you're not safe. Freeze frame on the monster that's gonna kill you. And there's still more of the film. What the fuck? Back at the mansion, wheelchair guy sitting there in his wheelchair as more frogs gather around. And, you know, now that I think about it, I think some of these might be toads. Frog toads from the makers of Crocagator. And they're just gathering around, and the dog is whimpering, and wheelchair guy's like, shut up! And then the phone rings, and he answers it. But the line is dead. And then, thankfully, he at least says what I was fucking thinking about it. He does say, you can't be dead, you just rang. Yes, exactly. How did that happen? Oh my God, I'm glad at least the movie was aware enough to know, yeah, this was just really stupid that we did this. Unless it was the frogs. The frogs dialed him. Oh my God, the frogs know how to use the phone! Although, it actually would have been cooler if he answered it and it was just fucking, like, ribbits on the other end. Like, that would be cool. That's what they should have done. To really, like, just drive home the horror. Like, oh no, these frogs know how to use the phone. And then it's just too much. And he keels over from, like, a heart attack or something. And all the frogs jump on top of him. So I don't know, because they were all staring at him, so I don't know if it was just a natural heart attack, or if they had, like, telepathic powers, and they caused a heart attack, which is fucking scary. I am scared that these frogs are gonna find their way. Remember, frogs, I'm your friend. I'm an ally. I love you. Do not cause me to have a heart attack, please. And, yeah. But, as far as we can tell, the frogs did not kill anyone. And then the credits roll, and since this is the 70s, the credits are like 30 seconds long, and then we get a little cartoon frog hopping with a human hand in his mouth. What the fuck is that? Like, just, it's a very cute little cartoon frog, and I don't know, and I'm just, is that supposed to represent that the frogs eat their victims afterwards? And seriously, the frogs didn't kill anyone. Frogs are innocent. Unless they have telepathic powers and we're ordering everyone else to kill people. I don't know. But I think if you take out all the scenes of humans from this film, you'd still have like about an hour worth of hours worth of footage, and it would make a nice little nature documentary. So, but signing out, this is Velvet Al. Click like or subscribe or both, or do something if you can to make sure you listen to further ones if you manage to listen all the way through, because you love this so much and you aren't one of those people that press stop like after 30 seconds. But if you are, I thank you anyhow, even though you won't hear it, because 30 seconds I think is all of that count that's needed to count as a view. So woohoo! Leave a comment if you can, if you're on YouTube. I don't think any of the other like podcast places allow leave a comment. So you can always email me at velvetal@hotmail.com if you have some suggestion of movie you want me to torture myself with. Until next time, stay away from frogs. And I want to thank the Living Brain Dead for providing the official theme song for Velvet Al Watches Movies So You Don't Have to. It's called Never Fuck With Catgirls, and you can get it at livingbraindead.com, which you should totally do. They are not paying me for this, so I shill them out of my love for the music.